Welcome back to Coffee and Candy. This is Brandy.
Amber.
Chris.
And Ross.
And today,
We gonna ruffle some feathers.
yeah, we may all get divorced. I don't know. We're gonna talk about the man versus the bear. And if you haven't, like if you've been in a cave in Afghanistan or something for the last couple of weeks, because you'd almost have to be not to have heard about this.
You know, I hadn't heard about it until you mentioned it.
Really?
And then I've probably seen maybe 5 or 6 posts.
Oh God, it's I've seen it's all over TikTok, it's all over Instagram, it's all over Facebook.
Well, I'm not on TikTok very often, and I'm almost never on Instagram.
Hold on, we have an incoming call from our incoming producer. Yes, ma'am, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. I just sent you, they found the lady. Her name is Susie Skinder, and he is all hugged up, smiling big time, like he just came to the dentist.
Okay, well, when we do that, we'll pull it up.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Not producer, contributing editor.
Whatever.
No, not whatever. They're 2 different things.
But it doesn't matter what we call it because we all do this for free anyway.
Yes.
So anyway, the man versus the bear, and it's been everywhere on social media. And so the question is, and if
Ross
you're-
is already getting mad.
I know Ross is pre-pissed off.
Pre-irritated.
Here, I'm not mad.
He's just pre-pissed off. The question is, if you're a woman or if you're not a woman, what would you want your wife or daughter or mother or whatever? Would you rather be? Are we
You did
haunted?
that, right?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
that.
Oh, I was like, we're haunted.
We needed more light.
Okay.
Would you, if you were alone in the forest, would you rather face an unknown man or a bear? And that's the question. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go around the room and everybody can tell us their answer. And Amber, you go first.
Bear.
So if I was in the woods,
Yeah, because it was like if your daughter was in the woods or something. But
If-
we can
if-
answer for ourselves.
First of all,
if
they need to ask the same
fuck me
question
then.
because the question has been asked 40 different ways.
Well,
if it were me,
this is how it originally
Well, hold on.
was presented to me.
if it were me in the woods, unknown man, hands down. And here's why. If that bear wants to kill me, that bear can kill me. If an unknown man wants to kill me, he may be able to get me, but his ass ain't gonna do it whole.
Okay, what if it was like the mountain?
He got a set of nuts too, and I would punch them bitches like a speed bag.
All right.
Bear's got nuts.
Yeah.
I'm no.
All right, Ross.
Plus, the mountain can't kill me, or
Yeah, he could.
You didn't let me fucking finish. The mountain can't disembowel me by swiping at my stomach. A bear can.
You don't know.
Yes, I do. He's got human hands.
Wow, Ross.
Probably the bear.
You would. Wow. Okay.
I know how a bear acts. But
Yeah,
I know
you
how-
see a bear, you can like get behind a tree, wait for it to pass, make some loud noise, they're gonna run away.
yeah. But
Yeah.
Not me.
But- here's a caveat. If I'm in the woods, I'm probably going to have a gun with me, so I'll shoot either one if they try to get me.
Well, this is just like dropped off in the woods.
Yeah,
you
just
just
like-
got your clothes.
Give me the biggest, baddest fucking man you can find. I'll take that over the bear.
Well, my answer would be,
Unless it's a cub, then that's different.
oh yeah, cub. I'd definitely
Okay,
get
you
eaten
gotta
'cause-
stop throwing in
Yeah.
if it was this, if it was that. if
You're
I
the one
had
that started.
this.
What if it was the mountain?
No, she was actually trying to make a point. From
I was
your
trying to make something big like a bear.
Yeah, a
No,
human bear, basically.
Yeah.
But no, I would absolutely,
You should be very afraid of those.
Yeah.
I would absolutely prefer the bear. And the
Now, do we
reason
go
is-
around and say why?
All right. Well, I'll start with my wife since I'm already. For me, the bear, unless I'm in between the bear and her babies, or the bear is hungry, I can probably diffuse the situation and come out whole.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, you can.
If you're not threatening or whatever.
You can make a loud noise unless it's starving, or like you said, you're close to its babies.
Yeah.
You make a loud noise, scare it off. It's gonna go on its way. It doesn't want to mess with you.
No.
If it was a man, there's just a number of things that could happen.
And there
it could
are
be a good.
things-
It could be a good man. It could.
Because there are good men. There are lots of them. Dare say
I know
most
if I
men.
make a loud noise, he's not gonna run off.
Right. I can't intimidate him with
Some
my...
of them might.
And then, you know, and there are things worse than being dead.
Oh yeah.
There are things...
He could take that. It could be like I was talking about, like if it was our daughter, the bear could kill her, and that would be a moment in the woods. The man could kidnap her and put her in his basement, and that could last
abuse
a
her for
lifetime.
years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's happened.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
we've seen girls that we thought we gave up for dead.
That one who had at least one kid in the backyard. It was more than 10
more
years.
she
than
had
one.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
That was like 18 years or
Yes.
something.
Like girls that people had given up on ever seeing again, you know, and thought that they were long dead, and turns out they were just being held somewhere. It's happened, and that is not just an American phenomenon like a lot of violence we hear about. You know, that's happened. A dad did it to his daughter, and it was a big case in Australia.
Was that the one in the basement?
And
He
that's
made a
happened,
whole apartment in that basement.
yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's not just that. I mean, the warlords in Africa kidnap local girls all the time and do the exact same thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
we're talking about girls that have come back after
Oh yeah,
10,
no,
18
Yeah.
years.
these girls are
Like-
usually never seen again.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of it, and I can't. All of a sudden, all their names are just, you know, only one that
Amanda.
yeah. I can like see her face.
Yeah, I can see all 3 of them. It was the 3 that escaped. The little short one.
Uh-huh.
I think she was she Mexican? Mm-hmm. And then Amanda was a white girl.
Yeah, and they were held in a basement in Indiana somewhere.
Yeah.
And like, you know, and some of them gave birth, and you know, the guy was going to work every day. Mm-hmm. And then what was crazy about it was once they got away, like when they showed pictures of their, like you think in your head that this can only happen on a property like yours where there's no immediate neighbors or whatever. Mm-hmm. These had houses on
They were
both.
close to each other.
like tiny little yards where people on both
and people would
sides-
see them occasionally in the backyard.
And
He would
that-
like let them.
Yeah.
Do
At
something.
night, he would let them out a little bit to exercise. And it's just wild to me that, you know. But yeah, no, the reason I would choose the bear is because there are things worse than death. Even if the bear did get me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so guys, why would you choose your choice?
Well, I mean,
Are we working, Chris?
to be fair, I know
Yeah, this cable's acting up.
mostly how a bear or a mountain lion or whatever is going to react.
Right.
I don't know, you know.
Because unless
And
there's...
I won't just say a man. I don't know what a person's going to do.
Well, but and that is true. Women are also capable of violence, but in your case, an unarmed woman, most of the time you're going to be bigger and stronger, and that's the difference. You know, it's most men could subdue the average size woman just on physicality alone, and that's scary when you know to move through the world knowing if somebody really wanted to harm you, you really couldn't stop them. Mm-hmm. You know, and it makes you, and I get, like I've seen a lot of the discussions, people, anytime there's an internet argument, people tend to there's going to be those ones that they just want to argue for arguing's sake. Then there's going to be those ones that are the loudest and the dumbest in the room. Those always make
They're going to be the
themselves-
diehard feminists where every man
is evil.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem is when people bring up like real issues like this that are real serious and that really need discussing, they have to commit to discuss it in a reasonable manner. And on most of these posts that I've seen, that is not even being attempted. You know, just like Ross posting, Ross is tired of it.
No, well, yeah, on it's basically man bashing. As the rule, not the exception.
Right, and I get it. Like, again, so much of it, people, when you get impassioned about something, you get less careful in how you word things. And
Or you're just crazy to begin with.
I mean, there's that. And then there are some people that just like to say the most shocking thing that they can think of just because it makes them feel something.
They like empathy.
I guess.
So there's one check mark for being a serial killer.
You know, but I think part of the reason women get so heated about this, other than the fact that it's like they've been personally victimized.
So have I.
Yes, baby.
Whatever. I'm just not going to talk.
Well, first of all, you've never been sexually victimized.
No, I haven't. You're right.
And that's what I was talking about. But I mean, in a lot of ways, and we were talking about this earlier before we started recording about how, you know, slowly over time that narrative has changed where people are quicker to speak on it now. People are quicker to call people out on it now, where like before it was just like, oh, that's just dude, he likes teenage girls, and we just
that's just how he is.
yeah. And I mean,
Just weird Uncle Bob.
yeah, and he just likes to diddle teenagers, and we just try to keep the teenagers away from. We don't stop him. We just tell the teenagers to be more wary. That used to be the way we handled it, and now as things, you know, people have talked about it more. People are starting to like, no, we have to actually do something about Bob, not just let Bob be a menace to whoever's unwary and walks into his path. But I think part of it, I mean, you have to look back when I was born, a woman couldn't even have a bank account in her name, couldn't have a credit card in her name, couldn't have a car loan in her name. And so it's hard to feel like you're seen as a full person if you don't have the same rights as other full persons.
Well, but that isn't the case now and hasn't been for a long time.
No, it's not. But a lot of the people in power were adults and were in charge.
Well, that's why there needs to be an age limit on that shit.
There absolutely
Yeah, no
does,
shit.
but there's not.
Oh, I fucking know.
There needs to be term limits, too.
And
On these, 72-term senators and shit.
No shit. You know what there doesn't need to be? Professional politicians.
that was
Yeah.
never.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was never the
idea.
plan when they started this.
No.
No,
That's
it's supposed
just
to
it.
be like jury duty.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to literally be of the people. So Bob the farmer would rotate in, and he would represent.
Yes, but you can't get paid all the money, and you can't learn how to get things done in Congress unless you've been there for 72 years.
No shit.
In other words,
damn.
you can't be.
I mean, that's what they'll tell you.
you can't
anyway.
be fully
be
owned
effective.
by a super
Yeah,
PAC.
exactly. I mean, it's, you can't be effective.
But so it's just it's a heated thing. I mean, and it's hard to talk about something so personal with logic and not emotion. And I think just like So you have those people that are, and I've read so many stories like, well, I wouldn't have to sit to Thanksgiving dinner with the bear.
Yeah, like, okay.
I wouldn't have to, the bear wouldn't come visit me at work and see if we could do it again. And, so, I mean, there aren't black and white, one size fits all answers to any of these complex questions. That's why they're complex. If they were easy to find an answer to, I think we'd have already done so and moved on.
It'd be boring to ask a question where everybody answers the same.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about everybody having a different perspective is it gives you things you hadn't thought about. Like, I don't know. I see both sides. I understand why the discussion is being had, and I understand why so many women choose the bear. That said, I love men. I think, most of my favorite people in the world are men. And I think most men are good. It's just...
A strange man is dangerous.
Yeah. Because he can physically overpower you. And so you can't afford to... you can't afford to let your guard down. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was saying. Even like when I'm with Chris, if he runs inside the store and I'm in the car looking around, I see a guy over there, I'm gonna make sure my door is locked. I got a knife over here.
And it doesn't matter
I'm already
what color
thinking
the
about
man
like
is.
if something happened, what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of raised to think that way.
Yeah. And I mean, that's because people that love us want us to be aware that, it's a dangerous world. And, and first of all, that's a fine line. How do you raise your daughter to be aware and to protect herself without making her afraid? Mm-hmm. That's a really fine line.
And even women who do protect themselves, they can still get hurt. I mean...
Who, do everything right. But I also understand why the guys feel attacked. Because, I think somebody said to Ross, I guess you're one of them all lives matter people. And, like...
I've been like, well, all lives do matter.
So, is that a problem? But that's not what they meant. What they meant was you're just confusing the issue and trying, And because you see people that certainly just don't take that into consideration. They just start talking in broad generalities. And,
yeah. I like Ross's answer. He knows how the animal's going to react.
Yeah.
A person, man or woman, you don't know what the reaction is going to be. It could be a million different things.
Right, because the complexity in animal
You
mostly...
don't know how the animals go. That's a wild fucking animal.
And they usually
You don't know what's
act in
happened
predictable
earlier in the
ways.
day.
When you have a list this long of how a human's going to react,
All right, but
and a
here's the thing.
possibility this long of how the animal's going to react,
Okay, but
which one am I going to take?
But here's the thing, and we skipped me for whatever reason, so I'm going to interject now. I don't claim to be a damn animal behavioralist, but I know this. I can talk to a human. I can reason with a human.
No, you can not all the way.
Yes, I can. Any one of them. And if that fails, that human may get me. But the motherfucker's going to be hurting when it's done. And that bear could swipe me one time and kill me dead and go on about its day like nothing happened.
And a big monster of a man could do the same thing. He could snap your neck in an instant.
Yep. And the thing is, you can try to reason with any human, but that doesn't mean they're going to be reasonable.
No, but you can try. You can't try to reason with an animal.
I'm sure
Actually,
many
there are
women
ways
have
you can- there are
tried
ways
to
you
talk
can-
to a man.
There are
it
lots of
didn't
ways
work
where
out
you can
for 'em.
de-escalate a situation with an animal.
I
with a
mean,
wild animal.
there's a video. You can find it online right now of a guy that was on a hiking trail, I believe,
with
out in
his young
California.
son.
Huh?
That one with the young...
No.
Oh.
The one that came across the mountain lion cubs.
That
And
was
he
wild.
knew as soon as he called the Cubs, there's a mama somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So he started backing up. But
Yeah.
he kept backing up. And when he needed to stop, and he did, and that mama finally got the point, okay, I'm
You're far
going
enough away now.
I'm not trying
It's
to hurt
safe.
my babies.
You're trying to, she knew what he was doing. You could see in her,
Yeah, she kept running up and like swiping the
thing, but
ground.
back, and that was her saying, because if she had wanted to hurt him, there was
Oh,
nothing he could do
yeah.
to stop it.
Not a damn thing. She's
She
a
didn't
big,
want to hurt that man. She wanted to protect her cubs, and he knew that and reacted accordingly, and it saved his life.
Yeah.
And that was we were
I
talking.
mean, there's all kinds of stuff like that. There's
that little.
there's a video of a hunter up in a tree stand, and the bear gets scared by something, and it's not it's probably a teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a teenager.
Runs
black
up
And it
bear.
comes running up the tree and
Face
is
to
like
face with
face
the
to
man.
face with the man, and they're both like, "Oh shit!"
You can see
mean,
it on both of
You
their
cool?
faces.
You cool? Okay, I'm just gonna
Mosey
mosey
on
on.
But here's the thing, and this is probably gonna piss some people off. The people that keep running their mouth the loudest and the most online, I keep hearing one thing. Either they say all men are pieces of shit, or they say if they're not, then you need to police the ones that aren't.
Oh,
Okay.
those people are fucking idiots.
Okay.
Yeah, like how?
So wait a minute.
It's impossible.
Y'all want to have a dialogue? Maybe y'all might want to police the ones that are running their mouth and pissing the men off about the subject. I mean,
Well, pissing
that's
them.
fair.
No, pissing men off isn't going to make them. It's not like pissing a man off is going to make a good man react worse than a bear. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
I didn't say that.
Well-
You know what the hell I'm saying.
Well, no, I don't, or I wouldn't have said it.
Oh, good.
Explain your position.
Nothing.
Explain.
How do you not understand what I just said?
But Ross,
They want to make the comment that, well, if you're not a bad man, then you should be policing the ones that aren't.
okay.
Well, if you want to have a dialogue, maybe you should police the women that are out here running their mouth.
Well, because you're right, but
That's what I'm saying.
you can't
How is that hard to understand?
make somebody
Because the internet's full of idiots.
right. You
Yeah,
can't.
I get that.
It's kind of like Chris said he can reason with anybody. I don't think so.
No, you
because
can't.
there's a lot of people you can't reason. with.
I can drive you up to some people on Pike Avenue right now. You can't reason with them.
And,
Yeah.
if someone
Y'all see what you did though, right?
no,
As soon as I said any man, put me with, doesn't matter. We started adding stipulations, making everything a lot more specific.
I made one stipulation because a man can easily overpower us.
and
Right. But I wasn't talking
And you're
about a
like,
woman.
oh,
I
I
was
can go head to head with a man. I'm trying to make this man as big as a bear to make you
to make the
understand
difference.
that you're dealing with this.
And that's the thing
Bigger
you
than
don't
you, that can
realize.
overpower you.
That there are times that we have to get ourselves out of situations where physicality is not equal, and we can't physical our way out of it. And so you just like
That's why women and men aren't in the same sport.
yeah.
There's gonna be those chances. I know.
Well,
There's gonna be those few women that can do better than all the men.
Right, that are like,
But overall, the men are gonna do better because they're
more
more
physical.
athletic. They're
Yeah.
stronger.
and but I think I don't.
It's hard to put the men in a situation where it's the same as the woman in that situation.
Well, because again, it's been ingrained in us. It's been taught to us to protect us since we were little. Mm-hmm. Because you don't. as a female,
I guess the only way would be, you know, if your daughter or your mother or your sister or your wife was in the woods.
what would you prefer?
Yeah.
You know, because,
Well, it depends on which one of those you're actually talking about.
well, assuming you felt
The
equally
one you love
for
the
all
most.
of
How
them.
about
yeah.
that?
But, you know, you can ask any female, and they will tell you that long before they're really interested in romantic relationships, they start to get attention from men. And that's just something girls grow up learning how to handle. And I think what you don't understand is how angry that makes some people. You
And
know,
we're not saying all women, and
not saying all-
also some boys
Yeah.
get that too.
but it's not as common and some people get really irrationally angry about that. And when I say irrationally angry, not that they don't have a right to be angry, but they get angry at everyone, and instead of the person doing it. And that's wrong. You know, but I just think that the only thing we can do as a society is talk about these things more so that they're not hidden and they're not shameful. Because like things like incest and sexual abuse and all these other things, those aren't modern inventions. We just started talking about them. They were kept in the dark before, and if we want to change the trajectory of these things, we have to continue talking about them, but we have to learn how to talk about them so that we aren't like doing what happened and, you know, Ross brings it up, so he's the bad guy and everybody jumps on him, and then now he's on the offensive and the defense because he feels like he's been attacked for something he didn't do. Like and to be fair, he has no more control over what, you know, other men do than we do. You know, but that's the thing with a lot of things. Like I saw a meme the other day, and it said, you know, we agreed that there are two things you don't talk about: politics and religion. But what did that do? That just meant that now we don't know how to talk about politics and religion. It didn't solve anything. It just makes the divide greater. And it's the same for things like this too. We have to learn how to talk about it responsibly and like grown-ups. But again, I don't know how you know, if somebody...
Because there's always going to be those people.
Right. That, you know, if you bring it up, then it's automatically, you know, they're going to jump on it and they're going to make it. It's more about the proselytizing than it is really trying to solve a problem or diffuse a situation. You know, and I mean, I don't know. I'm a mom of two men. And so I certainly don't think men are inherently
And I think you can ask Brandy. If we're at a mall, if we're somewhere, and somebody's trying to grab a woman or a girl or whatever, and she runs up, Brandy knows damn well I'm going to get in the middle of it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I mean,
I'd get in the middle of it.
yep.
And they'd whoop my ass all over, but I'd still get in the middle of it.
Yep.
And you know, I think we just have to I don't know, maybe it's just the people that have been hurt don't feel heard. And so all that resentment builds up and then you can't talk.
And talk about it.
Well, yeah, but it's hard to talk about those things because lots of times when you do talk about them, people want to try to assign blame. Well, what were you wearing? What were you doing? What were you, if I'm walking.
Yeah, that's why I heard one, if the woman gets attacked by a bear in the woods, they're not going to say, well, why were you in the woods to begin with? Well, what were you wearing for the bear to attack you?
Lingerie.
I was wearing cold cuts. And, so it's hard to talk about those things. And so, and it's like a knee-jerk reaction because it's hard. We don't talk about it, but that just makes it harder.
Well, I'll just put this out there for everybody right now. If you don't talk about it, nothing changes. Because I used to not talk about it.
Hopefully years from now it's going to be common, easy to talk about.
Right. And I think I don't remember if Chris said this on the air or if he said it when we were talking earlier, but he's like, I think as the generational shifts, those things have become less. And that's true because, and so hopefully that continues and it'll just become more and more accepted that we don't tolerate this stuff. And, just like I said, we graduated in 1990 and one of our coaches, 2 months after we graduated, married one of our classmates. God. I don't think that was okay.
There was another woman, I saw it this week, arrested a teacher with an 11-year-old boy.
I saw that too.
Like, what? He probably hasn't even been through puberty yet. What the hell?
I don't know. That's some kind of bad sickness. And she ought to be treated and prosecuted every bit as ferociously as a man would in the reverse. Because she's every bit the predator. She's every bit as sick. And I'm going to be honest, to me it's worse. And I know that's not PC, but I think it's worse when a woman does that. Because
women have more of a protective,
nurturing aspect.
Well, you know yourself, there's some women that don't have a nurturing aspect at all.
But honestly, just like it's built into most men to be protective of their family members, it's built into most women to nurture. Especially young. So to me, that's just so gross and unnatural. I don't understand that. I don't understand how anybody can look on a child and see something desirable. There's a reason children's bodies are almost like genderless. They're all little boys and little girls, except for their genitals are shaped the same. They don't. And there's a reason for that because they haven't gone through sexual puberty. But so that's just gross. And it seems to be that's happening more often. And I don't know, is it happening more often or is it getting caught?
I think it's getting caught more often because of phones.
Yeah, because
they're seeing the text messages and photographs. And
yeah, how dumb are all these people?
I know.
To having and taking pictures and doing all that on their phone.
Well, and just to
to
message a child in an inappropriate manner. Where do you the internet is forever.
That's there. It's not going away.
Even if that can be found.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand these celebrities that do stuff. It's like you are in the public eye all the time.
Well, that's just like the
how did you
Phelps?
think this was going to go?
Phelps, the big Olympic gold swimmer.
Those pot smoker.
Dude, you're an Olympic gold swimmer. You're a celebrity for all intents and purposes at this point, and you're sitting in a public place smoking the hell out of marijuana. What did you think was going to happen?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right in that there's more ways to catch people at it now, so we catch it more. It's probably always been happening.
And we hear about it more because
The world's more connected.
Yeah.
Just like Chris said it earlier about, you can hop on Facebook Live and, if somebody's done something, it can go around the world in a heartbeat. And, in that instance, it's good, but I still think in a lot of ways, and maybe this is just my perception, but it seems like when women get caught doing that, they get less punishment.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Which should not be the case.
No. It should not be the case. Do y'all remember that? What was her name? Mary Kay Letourneau. This was the earliest one that I had ever heard about going public where a female teacher.
Oh, was it the one with like the 13-year-old boy that got her pregnant? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they ended up having like 2 or 3
They
children.
got married and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still together.
No, she died. They divorced and then she died. He finally got help and realized, because in his head he was always like, I wanted it so it wasn't a problem. He finally got counseling and realized you can't give consent in a thing with like that uneven power dynamic. And so then he divorced her. And then she got cancer and died. But they sent her to prison. She got out of prison and immediately started back up with him again.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I think something about her release, she wasn't supposed to have contact with him.
Right. It was part of her parole that she was supposed to completely, have zero contact, and she just went right back and they got her again.
I mean, to be fair, what was the show, Chris Hansen?
Jeez.
I
How
love
many
that
guys-
Catch a
show.
Predator.
How many guys on there did they catch repeatedly
Yeah.
on different episodes?
I saw a TikTok or something the other day. This guy standing in front of a convenience store and he's got his phone in his hand, and this cop walks up to him and just takes the phone out of his hand. He's like, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. He was there to meet
Yeah, a kid.
I think a young boy.
I saw that too. And it's like, well, if you knew it,
Yeah, they were always, I knew this was going to happen.
why did you do it?
Their sickness is too strong, I guess.
I guess,
Like trying to get a drug.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe pedophiles can be rehabilitated. I believe.
I know people are going to hate me saying this, but it is a sexual preference.
It actually, it is.
And you can't cure a sexual preference.
Just like you didn't choose to like boys. It's not a valid sexual preference, but it is a sexual preference. That's what trips their trigger. Something in their sexual map was wired to children. And I don't think there's anything you can do about that.
Nope.
Because the thing where they do like the chemical castration.
Yeah, we saw something. Was it Nevada or somewhere? I can't remember where it was. Where they were going to start castrating people who
I think it was Utah.
got caught with kids under 14
Like do
or
chemical
13.
castration and stuff. But, actually.
Oh no, yeah,
Physical
actually,
castration. Yeah.
Surely not Utah.
I'm almost positive it was Utah.
Surely not Utah.
But the problem
Or was
is,
it New Mexico? Because of the Mormons.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're like, oh, we don't want to do that.
New Mexico, Arizona, it was
Somewhere in that
somewhere
region.
right in that area.
But the problem,
No, yeah, probably not Utah.
Yeah,
No.
the problem is, even when in cases where they do the chemical castration and they can't function as a man
they
anymore,
still- their
they
brain-
just object rape.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the court actually sentenced a guy to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
mean-
said a lot of people are saying it's not going to help, but I said I don't care. Cut him
Yeah,
off.
no. I'm with you. Like, that's the least he deserves.
Well, maybe as a deterrent, hey, if I do this and get caught, they're going to cut my balls off.
Yeah.
Like, that's the standard sentence.
Right. Like, that's the automatic.
Of course,
But
Deterrents
fair, I
aren't,
think
aren't
there's
really
something broke
great
up
deterrents
here.
anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's something broke up here, so I don't know how much effect it's going to have.
Well, that, like I said, they've proven in times where they've chemically castrated them,
Well, what was
they
the
object rape, so
what
it
was
doesn't
the
matter.
guy? What was the guy from Arkansas that they castrated in prison?
Like the prisoners did it, or
Yes.
oh wow,
The heck was that?
that was probably the cat.
And then he got out and moved to Missouri and started doing the shit again.
God.
Wasn't he? It wasn't the prisoners did.
The
Is it,
prisoners did it.
wasn't it the one where the warden kept his nuts in a jar?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did. He got released, moved to Missouri, where he wasn't known for that.
For that.
Started object
Doing
raping.
it again.
That,
Well,
you know,
the next needs to come to the hands, I guess.
I guess, you know,
Well, I mean,
whatever's
to be
gonna-
fair, they do that in foreign countries. They probably don't steal anymore once they chop their hands off.
Yep.
Unless they get real dexterous with their toes.
But I mean, like, I'm kind of like you. I don't care if it fixes it. I think it's an adequate punishment. You know,
Next comes the arm.
yeah, like we just now you're just ahead. What
You're
are you
just
gonna
gonna
do?
keep losing body parts.
You know,
Well, no, at a certain point, you kind of have to wonder. Maybe, like, I don't know. You'd have to have pretty fucking compelling evidence to do this, but wouldn't it just be better to put them down and be done with it?
Yep.
I agree.
Not a burden on society.
well,
but
and,
I'll tell you
because
why.
the recidivism rate on those crimes is so high.
Well, and also there's this thing called the prison industrial complex,
Yeah.
and they sure do like their prisoners because the government
Yeah, pays
them
Because they're making billions.
Yep.
hundreds of billions.
And-
that's why 90% of the prisons in this country are privately owned.
No, I mean, I agree. And I know that's not a popular thing to say, but if you've got ironclad evidence of things like murder and rape or child predation,
I mean,
I got no
to be
problem.
fair, if you have DNA, if you have irrefutable video of Chris,
Hey, whoa. Pick somebody else. Come
Amber,
on.
somebody committing a murder, a rape, whatever,
We've
Yeah,
used Bob
yeah,
you're
Bob
done.
several
Bob can
times.
do whatever.
We'll give you one freebie appeal just in case. After that, you're fucking done. Bye.
Yeah.
well, to me, that would be kinder even for the prisoner.
Well,
Yeah, but then they won't make their money.
Yeah.
That's why they don't do
They won't
it.
make their money. And to put somebody to death for an offense that is not capital murder, holy fuck, that would have to be ironclad to the point that it could never
Be questioned.
ever be questioned.
Because
Like
we've
I said,
seen
if
how
you
many.
have DNA. I
Right.
mean,
Well,
Right.
the freebie appeal, I think, would really be a good idea on that.
Yeah. But yeah, like, and I'm not talking for robbing a 7-Eleven.
No.
I'm talking murder,
or
rape,
Right.
child predation.
or selling half an ounce of drugs on the
no,
street corner.
but
There's
for
been people
sex
that spent 40 years in
trafficking,
jail for that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think human trafficking
Is-
ought to be an automatic double life sentence.
or capital.
Or
If you're
Okay,
willing
let me
to
ask-
sell,
let me-
buy and sell
wait a minute.
humans,
Yep.
Let me ask y'all a question. I've been seeing something over near my office, and I've been thinking about talking to an officer about it.
oh God, where you work, that could be anything.
Yeah, it's right down the road.
a tranny hooker.
No, it's odd.
The
There's-
tranny hooker's not odd.
Yeah, no,
There is-
actually, not down there. No.
Okay.
No, not down there. No, you're right. I keep seeing two youngish men at this one house. And I will see. And when I say youngish, I'm talking probably 17, 18, 19,
So-
20, 21, 22.
Young adults.
Fighting age males.
Yes. But then every time I see them outside this house, vehicles will be gone, the men will be gone. There are same general age, Hispanic, white, and black. Different girls in and out of that house all the time. If they're outside, the men are there.
Is it the same girls?
behavior? Yes. Several of them. The behavior just seems really odd to me. But maybe I'm
Like,
just
are you
seeing
talking
things.
about the behavior, like the
It's almost like if
mannerisms?
the women are outside, the guys are standing over them,
Guard,
and like the women are doing something,
like
hanging up laundry.
they're
or-
engaged in some
Yes.
sort of work.
So it's always the same girls you see, or is it different girls?
Well, in general, yes, but there's probably 4, 5, 6 of them.
And how many men?
I've really only seen 2, maybe 3.
And you've never seen the girls like leave?
No.
I think I would probably say
Yeah,
that.
I
I'd
think you
say
need to.
something.
Like there's just
Best
strange
case-
behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and you know those cops, a lot of them well enough that that you can get your concern.
this
The
is a-
problem is
This is
the
a block
cops
or 2
can't
down
do
the-
anything
right,
unless
they have to have some sort of cause.
Yeah.
You know what?
I know.
You know what though? Call it a welfare check, wellness check.
But you have to have a name.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You have suspicious
think you do.
behavior.
Oh, I can get
Hey,
a name. Well,
hey,
no, I don't know if I can
I-
get a name because I don't know if the house is rented or if it's.
No. I've seen suspicious behavior. Could you go do a wellness check or a welfare check on these women? They can absolutely do that, and they
So-
can go in because they have probable cause.
So when you okay, let's say the women are out doing what they're doing. Is it the mannerism and the bearing of the men? Like what?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I have not seen the women outside by themselves. I have seen the men outside by themselves.
My thought is if your gut tells you something's
My
not
gut
right,
tells me something
then
Yeah,
you
because
could
I've been thinking it for about a week or 2.
you could
Yeah.
And it's literally like 2 blocks from
'Cause
my
here's
gate.
the deal.
From my gate, so I go by it. All
if
the
you
time.
don't say anything.
And
But
you hear something, you're like, shit, I could have done
Right,
something.
you're gonna feel like, oh my god!
But if you
could've
do
ma-
say something, you could save someone's life. Or if it's nothing, at least you said
right,
something.
at least you can
to
go.
Be safe.
I laid down tonight, and I know that someone is not being trafficked or held captive, and I could have put a stop to it.
Yeah, in worst case
you know
scenario,
What? Maybe I'll talk to.
Yeah,
worst case scenario. Hey, sorry I wasted your time. Let me buy you a beer.
right. Yeah,
No
you know.
harm, no foul.
But at least you don't have to every
Wonder.
time you go by worry,
Mm-hmm.
are they okay? Because that would eat at me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I found myself driving
And you're
by
not
going,
the type to, you're not a histrionic type person. So if you've seen something that makes your gut feel off,
Yeah, always listen to your gut.
yeah, I wouldn't. There's a reason you're having that reaction.
Okay.
I would, yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely talk to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's someone or have
Yeah.
they're more likely to do something.
Right, because with your connections through your job, you can easily talk to someone in a position to do something about it without putting, like, if it's just a domestic tense situation, without, like, putting them at risk. But where if there is something where they need help, they can get it.
Okay.
Where we at?
Almost 50 minutes.
I was thinking it would be so easy to control women in that situation, especially if they had little kids in the house.
Well,
You
and-
wouldn't do anything because
Yeah. Well, and there's a vacant lot on one side of that house, and the other. Well, actually, no. There's a vacant lot on each side of that house, so they do not have a neighbor
that would hear.
right next to
Yeah.
either side of the house.
Well, fuck. If they did, ain't nobody going to say anything in that
no,
part of town.
Nope.
Well, and the thing is, again, especially if there are children involved, it would be easy to keep them docile because, if your child is vulnerable, you're not going to take a chance. And I think that's how
A lot
they.
of times it's drugs too. They keep them drugged up. To
Yeah, where they Don't.
No,
They're needing of
they sell
it.
drugs the next block. Then.
It's other
I
side.
can tell them where that house is too.
But you get them hooked on it, and then they need it.
They
so
need
they'll
it, and then it
do
keeps
whatever you
them
want.
malleable and docile, and that's just fucking horrific and sad. But yeah, you definitely got to say
No
something.
telling where they
Okay.
take them at night to do work.
Yeah.
That'd be my
And
guess. What's
we've
going on.
had human trafficking rings be busted
In Arkansas.
In Arkansas, at hotels and stuff. Apparently, it's just way more common.
Of course it is. It's the biggest business on the planet.
Well,
it's
what was the-
It's bigger than the cartel drug trade.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
Well, what was the-
and the
what was
cartel drug
the,
trade's almost $1 trillion a year.
What was the deal with the massage place at Greystone?
Oh yeah, Greystone.
Was that
No, they were giving handies.
No, they weren't. They
Prostitution.
weren't being
Yeah,
trafficked. that was just they set up a shop.
so? It
Yeah.
was they were doing that themselves.
Yeah, they were
That's
prostitutes.
what I wondered.
They just
Did
had them a
ever-
little home-based
Okay.
business.
All right.
They weren't being
They were
trafficked.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, yeah, they were
Okay.
business women.
We are
Damn it.
here for the massage special.
Well, speaking of that, I was thinking I might want a massage the other day because my back's been bothering.
Brandon's like, what the fuck?
No, wait a minute. So I start looking on
He
Google.
was looking
just
at,
to
are
see
they
where-
still in business?
just wait, just to see where places were and all that.
There's
kind of
one on
So I was
going
looking at-
towards Greystone that has
So-
a name.
Yeah.
Well, just wait. I was
On that
looking at
hill.
like
Yeah.
Google reviews. There's one place in Little Rock. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing
Probably.
because the rest of all the reviews all sound like normal reviews. These were like a lot of guys.
You just remember I got
This
you ass
place
on
is
Live 360,
really
and if you
awesome.
show
Yes,
up
I
at a
know.
massage parlor,
I
I'll
come
fucking
here
kill you.
every day on my
goddamn,
lunch
whatever.
break.
But anyway, I mean, it was just like I was reading through the reviews, and I'm just like, okay, think I know what's going on at that place.
To fucking hell.
Okay, I've got something to waste some time. Have y'all heard about the Shed Time Traveler?
Oh,
What
no.
What?
We got to do a.
Is that an
that's gotta be a different
episode?
episode.
Okay, that's going to be a different episode.
Is this a Doctor Who episode?
Never mind, I'm not allowed to talk about it.